Mach-E with us this evening. So tonight's a huge night. We're going to actually be talking about something that has not been talked about really whatsoever in the news, and that's really shocking. It's in regards to the Select Mustang Mach-E Select. So that's going to be real bad news for people living up in the north and Canadians. So big issues there. They've dropped something off the list. We'll also talk about late availability. So what you might order on your Mach-E that will cause actually late availability. So just to wrap up last night's video, now let's really just talk about price increases on EVs. And it makes me wonder, are we mostly going to be taking taxis in the future, essentially a taxi service where the electric vehicle will come on its own to your vehicle and drive you around? Well, we'll discuss that. And that, of course, has to do with these price increases. Are they fair? Are they not? We'll talk about that. And let's, of course, talk about dealer markups. Really annoying, frustrating dealer markups. However, Ford has done something, and it might just really either cool off by quite a bit dealer markups or even get rid of them. So I'm really looking forward to talking about that because we've got a sneak peek being up in Canada, because what I'm going to be talking about, which is going to be a new part of the dealer allocation process in the States. It's been going on in Canada for quite some time. So I've said it before, Canada is a bit of a test ground. And, well, this is going to be a prime example of that. Now, we also want to talk about, beyond the allocations, I want to actually talk about some Broncos that have been showing up at the dealership. So something you could actually do is go over to Instagram if you have that and add Johnny's Car Care and Reviews, because as I talk about those Broncos, it'll be really helpful if you have that on you. If you're watching off a laptop or the TV, maybe you've got your phone or a tablet on the side, and you can actually go through what's on our Instagram to show you the Broncos we're actually talking about. So actually the thumbnail of this show has been put there, and then the Broncos have been loaded in to really help out. Now, I would love to know in the comments section. I got this whole show set up this morning so that we'd have all day to know it was coming. I also mentioned it in the last episode, but it was on EVs, so a little less popular than usual. And I'm wondering, did anyone get the notification that we were going live this Friday? So just trying to figure that out. So would love the help with in regards to letting us know for the comments. So let's just jump right into this. Let's talk about these price increases. So the price increases on electric vehicles at Ford have been actually quite significant. They work out a little over 7%, right around 7% to about 10%. So they have actually been matching inflation. But I've gotten all sorts of comments like, Ford only increased the price because now there's this tax credit. Well, actually, Ford applied for the tax credit previously, and they still apply for the tax credit. They still fit in to the new criteria, assembled in America, in the Americas. The price points, $55,000 for a vehicle, $80,000 for a truck or SUV. So they still fit into those price points. Now, I'm really surprised the market hasn't talked about this, because this is kind of actually pretty big. The Mach-E Select no longer has heated seats or a heated steering wheel, and it doesn't have the tailgate is no longer electric on the Select model because they've gotten rid of the technology and comfort package. So I don't understand. Big media has really been talking about how it's, what colors have been changed, how they dropped off the white appearance package and added the night pony package. That really all seems really insignificant to me. And just focusing on price like it's the biggest thing ever also seems a little insignificant to me when the price increase is actually, it's not as if it's tripling inflation. It's right around where inflation is sitting, and battery prices have gone up tremendously. Marie, I don't know if you know about this, but the Mach-E, the battery, on average, it costs $24,000 extra to make a Mach-E. So
That's a lot.
that's a lot. I think it was somewhat profitable for Ford previously, and now I would think that they're building these at a loss. So basically, the gasoline side of the company, Ford Blue, is going to be paying until they get these battery prices under control. They're going to be kind of what you could say supporting the electric side of the company. So what you do have more on the Mach-E, and these price increases, though, if they continue, heck, a lot of middle class people aren't going to be able to afford these electric vehicles. And in Canada, the Mach-E is close to being shut down from any rebates and help. And that's why I kind of asked the question in the future, are people just not really going to be owning vehicles anymore? Are they just going to be having their, paying their fee to have an electric vehicle, not their electric vehicle, but have an electric vehicle show up at their house and then bring them to wherever they need to go, because ownership is getting really high. It's ridiculous, but it's fair because lithium has gone up tremendously. Now let's hope that doesn't happen with your Maverick.
It could. We never know with the batteries, so.
It could. So now the Mach-E Select does have Copilot 360 technology. So that's the 2.0 system, giving you auto high beam headlamps, blind spot detection, cross traffic alert, a lane keeping system, lane keeping aid, driver alert, pre-collision assist with automatic emergency braking. It comes standard with forward collision warning, dynamic brake support. That's just where the brakes prep. All of this is basically safety so that the vehicle has less of a chance of hitting something, that there's automatic braking if you're not noticing anything. It has post-collision braking, meaning if you do have an impact, well, then the brakes will make sure to stay clamped on. The pads, or the caliper, will stay on the disc so you don't just roll away into the next lane of traffic. Rear view camera, of course, there's nothing new there. Reverse brake assist and rain sensing wipers. So that's now all standard. But Marie, would you take a Mach-E Select knowing that you can't have heated seats and a heated steering wheel?
Oh, that's a good question, because with the Maverick, I just want these things. So yes, with my key, I guess I would
Yeah,
want
you would
these
take
things.
it. That's right. We knew
Yeah.
that your Maverick would get here much sooner. 2021 July 17th order, accepted by Ford on the 30th of July 2021. And she said to me many times, no, don't take off my luxury package. I want that heated steering wheel and the heated seats.
The steering wheel, sorry, I can do without it, but the seats, it's a must in Canada. Because last winter in the Bronco with the vinyl seats, I was putting a blanket on it so I won't freeze my ass when I get up in the car.
Fair, fair. And I think a lot of people, unfortunately, are going to miss this on the Select. So now you have to go up to, now I'm looking at the order guide. So of course, California Route 1 does have heated seats and steering wheel and all that. And the premium, and I don't quite know why they put it in the order guide this way. I don't find it's the most helpful thing, but under standard equipment, you do have, this is going awfully wonky on me right now, standard equipment premium. It mentions it under packages, which normally would mean, well, it's a package. You're going to pay for it. But then later on in the order guide, there's none of this standard or optional in the package being described. So it does look like it's completely standard for 2023, but you have the cargo area cover, power liftgate. You can't have the power liftgate on the Select anymore. Heated front row seats, heated steering wheel, and memory driver's seat and side view power folding mirrors. So basically the Select has the added Copilot system where it has the ability to essentially drive itself if you pay a monthly payment, so Blue Cruise. If you don't pay the monthly payment, well, the vehicle will do 95% of the driving. You just have to keep your eyes and your hand on the steering wheel. It's going to do 95% of the job for you. So that's standard on a Select. And now on a Select, you're getting, no one's talked about this in automobile media yet, so we're breaking this news. You're getting an electric seat for the driver, not the passenger, but the driver on a Select is now getting an electric seat. So really these are huge benefits if you're in a hot climate. Florida, Texas, California, you've just been given a great free treat. You're getting stuff you didn't have on the Select before. But what they're also not talking about is if you're in a northern climate, you just got hurt. I don't want to. Well, we use that as a software. You just got hurt. You just got run over. We wouldn't get a select. And in Canada, it's even worse because if you want the heated seat and heating steering wheel, there's absolutely no rebate at that point. So you're up in Canadian dollars, and heck, you're with the price increases, you're going to be basically, if you wanted an extended range battery, you're going to be in the 80s in Canadian, and without it, well, heck, 70, roughly 70 will now be more like $77,000. So yeah, the cutoff in Canada is 60K at $60,000 and more as the base price. So all these rebates, they're always looking at what the base price is before transport and before added on options. So just keep that in mind. If you're a Canadian, your select is really, it's an unfortunate change. But is it unfair? Well, no, Ford didn't just increase these prices for the fun of it. And you actually see they're trying not to increase the prices as much. So on the Lightning, even though that's a 131 kilowatt battery on the extended range, prices went up $6,000 to $8,500. And on the regular standard range battery, prices went up by 6. Whereas if you look at the Mach-E, the standard range battery has 70 kilowatt hour of usable battery, and it's gone up 3,000 USD. And the 91 kilowatt battery has gone up basically, it's gone up about $8,000 when you count. Because you have to get, if you want the extended range battery, you have to go to a premium. So there's a price increase on the premium, which is about roughly $6,000. And then there's another $2,600 if you want that extended range battery. So it's about $8,500, $8,600 price increase on a premium extended range battery, which is only 91 kilowatts. So you see on the Lightning, even though the battery price increase is the same, you do have an extra 40 kilowatts of actual battery. So the price on the Lightning when you get an extended range battery is higher than that on a Mach-E. And you see that Ford, how I see this is that this is an indicator that Ford they're trying not to increase prices. But when the vehicle is, when they're losing money on the vehicle, then yeah, they're increasing the price at the smallest increment possible. Now, for Ford's sake and other EV makers, because this is a problem for all EV makers, and this is also affecting gas-powered vehicles. Prices are increasing on all vehicles because cost is going up because inflation is impacting the cost of fabrication. So now we've gotten all the electric stuff out of the way. I want to save the juiciest stuff right for the middle, because that's usually when we have the most amount of people watching. So let's just cover this. There's a new system in the United States for getting your Ford, whether it's a Ford Maverick, a Ford Ranger, an F-150, F-150 Lightning, Bronco. This is applying to all models. And I'm finding this new system to be new to the States, but not new at all to Canada. It's called Burn and Earn, and it's quite possibly going to help with over MSRP. And
wow. That's a good thing.
That's a good thing because it's something that's driving a lot of us up the wall. I know I'm currently on a vehicle not getting very good service from a dealership, just basically because they're being dishonest. So not a good indicator. And I haven't told you about this, so that's going to be news.
Yeah.
That's going to be news, but first let's cover what Burn and Earn is.
I want to know.
So I said burn.
You cannot say that and don't tell me right now.
It's turn and earn. So Tim Bart's also called it Burn and Earn from when I was watching the show. It's actually, it's turn and earn, and I will not get into the exact mathematics of this, but the basics to turn and then earn means part of the allocations you get as a dealership are going to be based on how fast you unload the vehicle. So when it comes in to the dealership, how fast you then sell it, you get it off your lot and delivered, is going to impact how many you get in the future. Now, the other part of the formula basically is how many you've been selling in the past. And in the past with new models, well, they just had to base that on other factors because there was no past. They had to look at other models that are kind of similar, and it was even more complicated. But really, I'm going to super simplify this. The vehicle comes in, and if you don't mark it up, basically if you don't steal it from the original person that ordered it, because Ford is still doing COVP, Customer Order Verification Process. And for models that have a ton of demand, all or almost all of the production will be customer orders. The only time there'll be inventory that's not a customer's build is when the factory would have otherwise laid idle, because let's say all the customers want something like a wild track with a 2.7 liter, of course, a hitch, and a whole bunch of other things, a hard top. Well, when the factory can't build it, customer orders, they will build inventory for a dealer with remaining parts. And how this works is that, you know, whether it's inventory coming in or a customer's order. First of all, the dealer is going to be a whole lot less motivated to tell you that your own personal order is going to be 10,000 over window, because then they're going to have something sit on their lot. Because then if they also ask, you know, if you don't take it and they ask 10, 15 or 20 over, yeah, it's going to sit longer on their lot, and they're going to just get less vehicles. And of course, I've mentioned this before, but they're not only getting less vehicles, and this was the Canadian system. It's going to turn into the new American system for part of the allotments, but they will get less, and it just takes a lot of the motivation out of marking it up. But then there's also, because those do sit around, you see dealers that are asking, you know, 25,000 over for a whole bunch of Broncos. Yeah, they've gotten probably, you know, 5 or 10 of them, because they're just sitting there because not that many people really feel like spending $25,000 over markup. So good news for our Broncos, our future Rangers, the Lightnings. This is going to help, but then there's also the whole other aspect that if a dealership loses more than, and in the States it is currently 25% for 2023, if a dealership loses more than 20% of their COVP orders, so that's clients that basically the dealer told and promised Ford this is a real client, you know, they've seen the price, they've signed an offer, they've signed a build sheet, they gave up their driver's license, and that, yeah, they saw the price. So Ford doesn't expect the dealership to lose that client. And if they lose more than 20%, well, that also affects how many they're going to get, because the consequence to that will be up to, you know, when you get caught, you can miss out on a month's worth of allotments. And not just like, you know, if you're ripping people off on the Bronco, it's not that, well, for 1 month, you're not going to get any Broncos allotted to you, the VINs. It's all your models. So sorry about that. That's the co-host, because it's hot here in Canada. It's humid and we have the window open. So there's your co-host piping in. So we will answer questions at the end. So just leave your questions for the Q&A at the end. Winston, your question there is a little too early. I want to try to get through all the important material and not get too sidetracked, because people have commented before and they call them Johnny Squirrels. I can get a little squirrely. And that's where Marie-Pierre also in Q&A, that's where she jumps in and really helps organize and keep things under track and control. So basically, to really summarize that, dealers are going to get, you know, somewhere around, and it might be a little bit more in the end, but somewhere around 30% of the total vehicles that they get are going to be based on how fast they turn those vehicles over. So if they're slow turning them over, they're going to get less. And really, if they're real nasty with their customers and they lose more than, you know, soon 20% of their customers, well, then they're just not getting allotments for any of their vehicles. So for a month, and that's good. That means if a dealer figures, hey, this month we're going to get 5 Broncos, let's make an extra 20 off them and make an extra $100,000 for the month. But then they don't get any vehicles assigned to them for another month. Well, you can figure it's simple math. You're not going to trade, no matter how unethical you are, you're probably not going to trade $100,000 for what will cost you as a penalty $300,000. So I really think that, you know, I really think Ford deserves an award for this. They are working really hard to get control underneath this. Now, this isn't just at Ford. Corvette, just recently this week, there's a Corvette, 90,000 US over MSRP. And what's cool is the internet shamed them into lowering their price. So by the end of the week, they were finally actually at the correct price. So how's that? We're rolling the show on the side so you can see what questions are coming in.
Yeah, but we had trouble, I guess, because I'm not able to connect. So maybe because but we'll do it in video. Maybe try another time for the Q&A. Sorry, guys.
Sorry. Well, at the top left, it does at least say live. And actually, I've got my laptop, so in a moment, I'll just switch over to get to the Q&A because we are getting pretty close to that. So this whole system is going to help this turn and earn. So if you turn your vehicles over quickly, you earn more vehicles. And then, of course, your allotments are also based on your previous sales. So what's cool is bad dealers will kind of start into this spiral going downwards, and it's going to lead to them getting less and less vehicles. So they'll have time to change their behavior. But if they keep not turning over vehicles quickly and earning more vehicles, well, they're going to get less and less. And then because the other part of the equation is actually looking into the past and saying, how many vehicles did you sell in the last X number of months? Well, basically the system, it's going to get worse and worse. They're going to say, well, you need less and less because we give them to you. And even when we give you less, you still don't sell them quickly. So that is a system that's been going on for years in Canada. And I think it's probably part of the reason why Canadian dealers have very little markup in Ford on the new vehicles. And when they do, it's only a couple vehicles because they literally cannot afford to mark up a whole bunch of their vehicles. So you can't afford to mark up a Maverick by, $4,000 on, let's say, the 5 Mavericks you get, when it's going to mean getting, well, there's the penalty.
It needs to go quick, yeah.
It needs to go quick. So this is a great system. I really think it's a fantastic idea.
That's a good thing. So sometimes the big dealership doesn't have enough cars, so then they will see, okay, they need more, and it will help to balance all of that. Who needs what and
that's actually
the quantity. So I guess that's good. That's a good thing.
You said it really well, and I should have been able to get the words out.
Thank you.
You couldn't have picked better words than that. So thank you.
With my little English, I'm able to to do some things sometimes.
So now I promised to talk about Broncos. Let's now talk about some Broncos. Now they're on the Instagram page. Johnny's Car Care and Reviews is on Instagram, so join in. You can have it on a secondary device to see the vehicles I'm actually talking about, but let's get through these quickly and then maybe wrap up the show either directly into the Q&A or maybe wrap up the show with another little bit of interesting information. But let's talk about this. We've got an Outer Banks Sasquatch soft top high package, 2.7 liter with hitch, ordered April 20th and arrived August 24th. So that's April 20th, 2022 and arrived August 24th, obviously 2022. So that's not that long, and we'll go through all of these because none of these took very long, and some are hard tops, and the 2-door took longer, but it didn't take 2 years, and we're going to explain why. And it has a lot to do with why I'm currently getting, kind of mistreated on my Bronco. I'm being lied to in regards to a Bronco that I put a deposit down on, and I'll share, and because all of this relates to dealer allotments. Because what I talked...
At the same time, at the beginning, you were not sure if it was real. You were a little bit skeptical. So, you feel it, I guess. You felt it.
Yeah, I had the gut feeling that I was dealing with a jerk. And, it's not Ford's fault. It's not even necessarily the dealer's fault. But, they do it... After a while, you should realize that you've employed a jerk and have them replaced by someone who doesn't ruin the reputation of your dealership. But I know well enough not to blame the manufacturer. I even know that it might not even be the dealership's fault that I've been lied to several times. But I'll explain that and the importance and really kind of quickly how to kind of shop your dealer. But thank you for pointing it out that from the beginning. I was like, yeah, this will be interesting. This will at least make for a story, but it smelled bad from the beginning. It smelled a little rotten from the beginning. So let's just get right back to this list of going through these Broncos. You've got that Outer Banks Sasquatch soft top, high package, 2.7 liter with hitch. That is white on the Instagram. That's the white one with the soft top. It was ordered April 20th, 2022 and arrived April 24th. Now, 4 days only at the last rail station. So I want to say great news. Transport's going a whole lot better. Up north at least, transport is pretty much resolved. That is extremely quick, 4 days. Now, let's see what else I can tell you about this. It did Michigan to Montreal in only 4 days, and then sent to the plant May 31st, produced June 30th, released July 11th. So really oddly, sent to plant the 31st of May, produced June 13th. So already 13 days to be produced is quite some time, but then only released July 11th. I'm not really sure what...
1 month later.
Yeah, 1 month later. That's slow. So I'm not sure. Is that because it needed a month for transport, or was it awaiting microchips? I suspect maybe it was awaiting microchips, because the high package does have those heated seats. Now, we haven't really had any Lux packages showing up, so I'm thinking that obviously when you add a whole bunch of constraints together, that's when things start to really take quite some time. So when I'd say if you want a 2.7 liter, really simple solution. If you can live with the soft top, great, soft top, high package. When you want a hard top, avoid the Lux. You don't want to stack on those constraints, because that's when you're going to be waiting over a year, or if the dealership is just not in a good position really to be still selling Broncos. So we'll talk a little bit more about that. It relates to the story our story that she doesn't know that we're dealing with yet, but I'll explain what we're dealing with. So now I've got so stay tuned so you can know. Do hit that like button to help us. It does help Feed a Poodle and get this information out there, because some people do need to hear this. Because where you shop, you need to shop your dealer. That's the big point in all of this. But let's continue. Now we've got, if you're looking on Instagram, we've got that green Outer Banks. It's a hard top with leather. It's a 2.7 liter, again, high package with hitch. So a bunch of constraints, but I believe because it doesn't also have Lux package, that I think the Lux package, there is a ton of demand for Lux package, and it is really slowing things down when you add it on to the other very popular constraints like Sasquatch 2.7 liter and hardtop. So let's just I'll tell you the story about this one. It was ordered May 11th, 2022, scheduled the 16th of May to the week of June 20th. Then May 29th, scheduled to the day of June 14th. Then moved back to June 22nd, the 5th of June. So this thing basically bounced around, because then on June 11th the schedule changed again to the week of July 25th. And in the end, it was sent to the plant July 27th and produced August 4th. So this thing just bounced all over the place, and that doesn't mean your Bronco's not gonna get produced. That's why I'm sharing this story. It's to, take a bit of stress off people that are seeing their vehicle bounce around, because of course you can just Google Ford track your vehicle, and even if you put your serial number into the Canadian or American site, and you're destined for the other country, the system's going to tell you this doesn't work, now go to your Canadian site, or this doesn't work, go on to the American site. Mind you, it's pretty much always the .com that's going to pop up instead of the .ca. So we've got on Instagram, here's another little story. Black Sasquatch Outer Banks 2.7 liter with soft top and the hitch, high package, cloth interior, ordered April 1st, 2022, scheduled to April 21st for the week of June 20th, produced the 14th of June in reality. Then by July 11th, it was actually, produced. shipping only took, shipping didn't take that long. Shipping on that one took 10 days. So that just showed up. So you can count the months, you know, April to August. And that was, what was that? April 21st, and it's the 26th. So solid, that's what, 5 months?
1, 2, 4. Yeah, 4 months.
Wow, 4 months. Dealer allotments are really important, so there's some important questions to actually ask the dealer, and then you just kind of, you know, hopefully they don't lie to you. So also,
He's mad about that. We know.
I've got a bone to pick. By my beard, am I frustrated? So it's not my regular local dealer, obviously.
Yeah,
I've
the
never had
only
issues
time
with
you
them.
try to go somewhere else, you hit that in your face.
And it's not because I
Hit a wall.
wanted to. It's just that the Bronco Everglades is not offered to.
Yeah,
it's gonna be
not everywhere.
it's gonna be distributed to smaller dealers, and then bigger dealers will have a chance to get or a few Bronco Raptors. So the last Bronco I'm going to talk about today, before getting to our Everglades order reservation, is a yellow 2-door Sasquatch Wild Track with 2.7 liter and also the hitch. So we've got a few constraints, but of course never the Lux package. So this has actually no added package. So it's just a straight out Wild Track. It is a 2-door, of course, so it's a hard top. And it took longer. It took a lot longer than the others. This was ordered October 21st, 2021, and it just came in. So not quite. It's 10 months, I guess.
Around that.
Yeah, 10 months. And yes, at some dealerships, this would be 2 years, or maybe even more, a little more than 2 years. And that really does come down to what we talked about earlier: dealer allotments versus really how long their list is. And you have to hope they don't lie to you. You have to hope they don't give you well, I'll get into that in just a moment. That's my story. And I said that would be the last one that I talk about, but I'll actually talk about one more Bronco after this. So yeah, the good news is 2 doors are actually coming in. And this, I am seeing, summer and fall 2021, 2 doors coming in to a dealership that, basically followed all of Ford's rules. So if you shop and find a dealership that follows Ford rules, they wouldn't have taken an insane amount, drawn in people from all over the country and got, 1,500 reservations when they knew darn well they're only going to have about 100 to 150 allotments. So some dealers definitely did that. So some dealers you could say, robbed us because they reduced the price, and some dealers rob us because they increase the price, and some dealers rob us just because they lie. And like, I'm probably a pretty easygoing guy, and you can tell me the truth and I'll just be like, I'll really appreciate getting a straight answer. But I got BS. So last one I will talk about is the Black Diamond 2.7 liter. So that one's Cactus Gray. I almost called it Cactus Jack. That's the name of our Bronco. But Cactus Gray, Black Diamond, 2.7 liter with soft top and hitch and mid package. So nothing special. And oddly, this was ordered November 22nd of 2021 and just came in. And this is one of those weird ones where this should have been a spare parts Bronco. This should have been really quick, everything except for the motor. But yes, it has a hitch and it has 2.7 liter. But it's not Sasquatched. It's just the Black Diamond. So when it's something Sasquatched, I say it's Sasquatched. So simple Black Diamond, and took quite some time. So that one I really don't understand, other than it's a mid package. So it has the keyless entry and it has the heated seats. So I'm wondering if just at that point maybe they passed the better looking, more expensive, higher profit Sasquatch models.
We'll never know.
We'll never know. But that is an odd one, that all these Sasquatch 2.7 liters soft tops arrived quicker, and it basically took as long as a 2-door hardtop Sasquatch. And Wild Track. So Wild Track's restrained, Sasquatch is restrained, but really, really simply put, so when you compound constrained items. And I think a big one is when you have, it's really bad when you add hardtop with a 2.7 liter, with Sasquatch, and then you go Lux package. Because a lot of people wanted Lux package and it takes a lot of microchips. So I think Lux package is to be avoided if you're going with one of those, basically what I just mentioned.
You just looked at me when you said avoid Lux package. Wink, wink.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, I'm probably using a French term in French. They call them, we got the medium package, the high package, and I hope Lux package. Sometimes I get mixed up between English and French. But yes, on our Maverick, Lux package has made it really, really lengthy. But what can you do? So the Bronco Everglades only distributed to certain dealerships. So at least up here, you either get a Raptor or you get an Everglades. I wanted an Everglades. I was given a serial number, and because I went through my own 10 steps and made sure I got them all, other than I couldn't get a signature, but I got an email confirming that I would be sold at the price that was actually listed right on the sheet, which is odd because they should have actually, it's not my order, it's just a free Everglades free. It's their distribution of Everglades that people on their wait list did not, they got their golden tickets and they were offered the Everglades. They didn't take it. This thing had been, for sale on the internet for a couple of weeks, and I put a deposit on it after requesting, because basically I got laughed at first when I said, "Hey, I'm willing to pay MSRP. I'm not willing to pay. I'll gladly pay MSRP, and very quickly. You don't have to even sell me the vehicle. There's no work required." But you have to guarantee me MSRP. I got laughed at as a response, and then I was like, well, you're the ones that posted it on the internet for this price. This is your choice. So when you post something for sale at a price, at least here, you got to sell it at that price. So I said, don't laugh at me when I'm just going under the assumption that you don't behave in illegal manners, that you're not lawbreakers. So then they got a little more serious. They're like, okay, well, let's mess around a little less with this guy. So they said, give us $500 and it's yours, a deposit. I said, hold on, send me a price, sign the sheet while they confirm the price in the email text. So I've got all that, but here's the issue. First sign of fishiness, obviously, was when they were laughing at me. Second sign of the deal didn't smell right is I punched in the serial number because I asked and they told me, well, this is supposed to get built at the end of July. And I couldn't get a window sticker. I couldn't get any information on it. So I said, what's going on? And they're like, oh, don't worry about it. I said, well, I am worried about it because I can't get any of this information. They're like, well, how can you even have access to a window sticker? And I wasn't a smart, I wasn't a jerk about it. I wasn't like, because, I'm not a dummy or whatever. I just said, well, because I have access to the Ford tracking system and I actually have access to the Ford internal system, I did tell you from the beginning what my position was and my background. So odd that you would laugh at me in the first place, but anywho. Now, I said that I have a family, I can get a family discount, but I did not want or expect that on the Bronco. I just wanted it to be quick, fair, easy MSRP. No selling on their part. Just take my money and do it right. Well, they gave me the wrong serial number. Then they pretended like it was an accident and gave me the correct serial number, which was still supposed to be built at the end of July. So end of July rolls by. I still can't get a window sticker. And actually that's when they said, oh, it's the wrong serial number. Here it is. And then it turned out that it'd be built actually on the 22nd of August. And I still can't get any information, even though I have the order code. And they even sent me a photo of the order code and the serial number. And it's not working in either of the two systems that are available to me.
Smelled bad.
It smelled bad, but then I was given actually the correct order. That's when they sent me the correct photo. And in the tracking system, it says that the demand, the order has been received. It's received and clean. But unfortunately, received and clean. Not that it was ever scheduled back in July. Not that it was scheduled in August. So these two,
They used it to do new orders.
yeah, they're using, at first they're using an Everglades code, order code, and serial number to draw in people's deposits, and then they're just throwing in the extras into the system. So thank you for getting me really focused. The point of this story is that some dealers are really crafty liars, and they'll actually give you a real serial number and a real order code so that you can follow something you're never going to get.
Yeah, so probably when they post it and says, "Hey, we'll have it," it's just to attract people from everywhere. So
I guess I'm the fly. I guess I'm a fly because I got attracted to.
don't say that word.
Yeah, I don't want to swear in front of my fine lady. I got attracted to horse manure.
Did it makes you cry?
No, I don't cry. I get red in the face and a little frustrated.
Oh, but you're okay with losing the Everglade?
Oh, well, it just means that I'm in their system and one day I'll get an Everglades. But the thing is, if
okay, you continue with them, but you will wait the months that it needs?
it's a $500 deposit legally required to be given back to me unless I take possession of the vehicle and drive away with it. So if it's there an extra 4, 5, 6 months, I'll just leave it there. If I invested in the stock market, it'll be like my other investments I threw in January. I'll lose 20%. So it's fine just depreciating due to inflation over at their dealership. And I'll remind me in like 6 months if I still don't have an Everglades, remind me to get that money back.
But you're a kind guy, because you could just say, "No, you won't have my money. You're a bunch of liars, so no, I don't order with you." So you're kind, because they didn't treat you well. We'll know for the next time.
It's unfortunate that some dealers, I'm generally the world's easiest sale because I know the product. When I shop a product, I know the product well and I research my things. For example, like currently, if you're looking at a Porsche, or even if you're looking at a Lightning, your cost of ownership isn't that monthly payment. It's what you buy it for versus what you sell it for. Mm-hmm. So some vehicles these days can make you money. So at a Porsche dealership, basically the only job the sales consultant has to do is tell me if he has any idea if the 718 Spider will still be with the flat 6 in 2 years, or if there's chances it goes to a 4, which I do not want, a 4-cylinder. If there's chances it goes to an EV, well then I'm even happier because I love the style of the new 718 Spider. Not Boxster, the Spider. Otherwise I'll just go with a 911 Carrera, because a 911 Carrera isn't $135,000 if you can drive it for a year and sell it well. The dealerships themselves currently are asking for that model $209,000. Let's say the market cools down and I buy it for $135,000, but they still have wait times, but not of 2 years, but let's say, or 2 to 3 years. Let's say their wait times are down to 4, 5, 6 months because the list is less long. That's still going to be a vehicle that's going to sell for worst case scenario window after a year, or heck, maybe still 10 or 20,000 more. So that's not a vehicle that costs me anything to drive. I'll be getting paid to drive it. Now let's hope our government likes to tax us for everything, so let's hope they don't catch on to this and start taxing people if they make money buying a vehicle, running it a year or 6 months and then selling it. But that's always, I used to do this when I was losing money on vehicles. I'm just a vehicle passionate guy. I need to try new vehicles, and that's just the way I am. So we're going to get into the Q&A. Long story short, you really need to, I've got a 10 steps video to not get robbed by dealerships that really will help you. And when you want to know, when you're shopping your dealership, make sure to ask them, how many allotments do you get per year of this vehicle roughly? If they don't know, ask how many are you getting in the next 2 months. If they don't know that, they're clueless. Change dealerships or ask to speak to the manager, because the sales guy might not know. But you can encourage them to go ask the manager, or just ask to speak to the manager directly. If the manager doesn't know, you're at the wrong dealership, because they should be able to tell you how many they're going to be getting and where you are on the list. So if they say, yeah, in the next 2 months we're getting 20, let's say 30 Lightnings over the next 3 months. They're getting about 10 per month. and you're 90th on their list, well, you can do the math and be like, hey, this for a Lightning, this is a pretty darn good place to order from. But then you also have to make sure they COVP, because this new allotment system doesn't mean Ford is getting rid of COVP in any way whatsoever. Client order verification process, so I'm going to need your signatures on your Maverick, because in Canada we weren't doing that when she ordered last summer. So when the 2023 order banks open up, you're going to have a lot of paperwork to sign. We'll go to the dealership together and take care of that. So they've still got the COVP process, and for really popular models, all or almost all vehicles will be built for customers only. And even when the Maverick opens up, if they reserve the first month or two for just converting, trying to get built those carryover 2022 Mavericks to 2023, which would actually be 2021 people for the most part, that doesn't mean you're getting your vehicle later, because Ford had to work through that list anyways before getting to you. It actually means it's going to be faster for you if you haven't ordered a Maverick yet, because instead of, little simple builds of available parts passing in front of people who are on the list, unless you're one of those people with a super simple build and you end up getting built quicker because of it. But let's say you want a hybrid Lux and you order when the order banks open up, or if they reserve it for old orders, they open up 2-3 months later for new orders. Well, if you're ordering a hybrid Lux, you're not getting it before all those people before you anyways. So it's much better if the factory can just focus in on those old orders, flush them out first, and then take in new orders. And that's what they're doing for the Bronco. That's what they're doing for the Lightning. And I currently can't remember if that's what they're doing for the Mach-E, but the end result is gonna be that anyways, because let's say you order a Select now with Mach-E Tuesday, I believe, August 30th, Tuesday, order banks for the Mach-E open up. Well, if you order a Select, they've got to process all those people before you. And anyways, in the last video I did just last night, I talk about what you can expect. Basically, the Select model is more or less already sold out for the 2023 year, because it'll take either all or close to all of the actual production 2023 production to get through the remaining 2022 Select orders. So that's that. And that's why they cut off ordering, official ordering. The factory stopped taking officially orders as of May 31st, so in the spring. So if you read that on the net and they say, Ford stopped taking orders in spring, that is what they're talking about. Now let's go check over Q&A as we set up for this. Get your questions ready. Now, maybe, here we go, right up here. At any point, Marie, you can tell me that I'm doing this all wrong.
But, like I said, we had trouble to start the video, so it says it's live, but I don't see it, so I guess it will be like a normal video, John.
Oh.
Sorry.
Or maybe we're not even live at all, because we haven't had any questions pop up. So that's kind of new. We've never had this issue before. So let's try one last. Yeah, that is definitely true. Well, if we are live, if not, this will be turned into a regular video. We'll save Q&A for the next live session. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Johnny from Johnny's Car Care and Reviews, and the JCCR crew is here to help. We have Mary with us tonight. Thank you so much for joining us, and we do wish you all more cars and more power. Take care.